My name's Matt, and I'm a sinner. I've cheated, I've lied, I've stolen, I've lived a very long time trapped in vices. I used to literally steal money from my parents' wallets and lie about it. I used to steal from my places of work. I used to shoplift. I used to do whatever it took to feed my disgusting addictions, like smoking weed every single day for about 5 years. I was having casual sex at way too young of an age. I still struggle with lustful thoughts. Uh, we're both sinners. Filthy, corrupt, human sinners. And we will continue to sin for the rest of our lives. But that's not gonna stop God from loving us. The reason we should try to minimize the amount we sin is not to get some kind of brownie points, not to, check it off the list and have a scratch my back, I scratch your back, you scratch my situation type of thing with God. No, we want to minimize the amount of sin we partake in because we love God and we want to show him that. But today in particular, I wanted to talk to you about a very specific type of sin, which I have made it my mission to help as many people escape, which is the sin of gluttony. Stuffing your face like a pig. And it's a sin that is so easy in this modern world, and it's one of the devil's favorite weapons, because when you go to church, you get frowned upon if you partake in alcohol, drugs, if you sneak off in the middle of the service to have a cigarette, if people find out that you're having some kind of out of marriage sexual relationship with your partner. People will judge you for it, but they're not going to judge you if you're just this fat blob, this mess of cottage cheese. Most likely because they are as well, because in this modern age we live in, the obesity is rampant, and at church it's no exception. But it's become socially acceptable. You have these church events, these potlucks where people bring their food. It's a nice time. It's socializing. It's spending time with friends. But it's also stuffing your face. Why does food always have to be at the center of social gatherings? Is a question I keep asking myself. And why does it always have to be garbage food? Why can't we get together and have a feast of steak, eggs, fruit, and frickin' potatoes? Why does it always have to be some kind of like brain fog pasta bakes, frickin' jollof rice concoctions, all of these store-bought cakes and desserts? Why? And man, this gluttony, it definitely is an obstacle between us and God, because we're putting food on a pedestal. We're essentially worshipping this delicious spike of pleasure that we get when we stuff our faces. And this gluttony, this brain fog, this slow, sluggish, lethargic feeling you get after eating too much, it takes us out of the current present moment, takes us away from our connection with God. So it really bothers me that we have this hierarchy of sin, if you would, in the church, where you get more and more judged the more extreme the sin is, even though sin is all equal in God's eyes. But gluttony is absolutely okay. Gluttony is at the center of the modern church, and nobody has anything to say about it. And I want to be the person to say it, because I think it's a massive problem. I think this sugary, sweet, greasy garbage food that we have absolutely no guilt in partaking in, it takes us away from God. Like I already said, because we're putting food on a pedestal, and when we're going through a hard time, when things are tough in our lives, we reach for food as a source of comfort rather than reaching for God. And I've had enough of it. I'm making this my mission. I mean, don't get me wrong. The mission is many layers deep, and it will take the rest of my life to fully do God's work, and it will never stop. But I think one of the most beneficial ways that I can help my brothers and sisters is to help them with the sin of gluttony, because I've been there, done that. My gluttony was rampant. I never got obese. I definitely let myself go and looked soggy and disgusting by my own standards. Don't get me wrong, when I was looking that nasty, most average people would still say, "Oh, what are you complaining about? You look fine." That is not my standards. But I've been through all of the, shoplifting, like I already said, when I was smoking weed every day and completely broke, unemployed, just running to the shop and stuffing my bag full of disgustingly processed garbage food, which I would stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff down my gullet until I literally couldn't stuff anymore. And throughout these weed smoking years, I went through many phases where I would fast for a lot of the day, just because I don't know why I did it, to be honest, but I just would forget to eat, I guess. But when, at the end of the day, when everything came together and all of these munchies and all of this concoction of hunger came and slapped me, I would feast so hard. I would stuff my face with such intensity that I'd get so uncomfortable that I'd have to go put my finger down my throat, throw it all back up again, just to feel some kind of relief. But after that, what do you know? There was room to stuff even more food down my throat. And this wasn't only when I was stoned. Even after I stopped smoking weed, I still had food addiction, because it was a source of comfort to me due to the fact that I was so unhappy with my life and who I was, that it was the easiest thing to reach for, because it's everywhere in this modern world. So essentially what I'm trying to tell you is, you could say I had bulimia, whatever that means, if you want to label it like that. But stuffing my face so hard that my stomach would balloon up to such an uncomfortable level that I would go and make myself throw up just to escape this feeling of pain. So trust me, brother, I've been to the depths of gluttony, and I know how much of a sin it actually is, how much it takes us away from God's plan, God's purpose. And when you're always stuffing your face, when your brain is foggy and tired and your body doesn't work properly, you can't carry out the tasks that God has set to you. You can't utilize the talents that God has given you at the highest level, because God wants you to be mentally sharp. The devil is out to get you, and he has so many weapons to knock you off the righteous path. So brother, please, if there's one message in this video that I want you to take to heart, it's that the devil wants you to be a gluttonous pig. Please don't allow him. Thank you for watching. Have the happiest Sabbath. And remember, in this chaotic, confusing world, the best thing you can do is take relentless action with violent clarity.